Hey guys, Steel here, back with another video. And we are still in China. I've been getting even more requests to do Manchukuo again. Apparently, you guys seem to think this is either impossible or too difficult, so here I am to help you get through this. Iron Man mode on, historical AI focus is on, and let's see if it's really that hard. But first, a quick message from today's sponsor, Manscaped. For those of you who haven't yet heard of them, they are the go-to source for the best tools and liquid formulations for what they describe as the big three odor zones: your body, your butt, and your balls. Nice. Those should keep the family jewels sparkling. Manscaped graciously provided me with a care package with stuff from their all-in-one performance package 4.0, so let's investigate. Yes, I have opened this off camera because I am an impatient man-child. I know. Anyway, the main attraction here is their all-new Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer. Ooh, it's got ceramic blades. Now this is Manscaped's 4th generation electric waterproof trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology, which reduces nicks and cuts on the more sensitive regions of the body, as demonstrated by these lovely stand-ins for the family jewels. Also included in the Performance Package 4.0 kit are two products I've become quite fond of: the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Provider Ball Toner Spray. Simply apply the Crop Preserver after your shower for all-day body odor protection, and the Crop Reviver is just a convenient spritz with cooling aloe vera to quickly refresh the area when you need it. And for a limited time, you get all this plus 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, it's a pretty nice bag, and the Manscaped Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs. Go to manscaped.com or click my link in the description below and get 20% off plus free international shipping plus 2 free gifts when you use the promo code BITTER at checkout. Anyway, on the video. So first things first, let's organize the military. I like to turn everybody into the Bubing Shi template. That's the smallest template we have. And then I tend to organize them in 2 groups. I put 6 in Heilongjiang and the remaining 3 in Songjiang. Why? Well, because I want to pacify the bandits. What you could also do is simply disband the army and use the other decisions, the hunt down decisions, but that wastes 1,500 guns. I'm not about wasting guns, I need those guns, so I'd rather just use this option. Put 6 divisions in Heilongjiang, 6 in Songjiang, and another 6 in Jehol. And to get to those numbers, we are going to queue up another 9 divisions, a single run on high equipment priority, and we are just going to force deploy these as soon as they are available, so nothing else matters except deploying these divisions. And we'll assign them to a leader and might as well have them exercising. Now as for research, let's start with basic machine tools and electronic engineering. Focuses, many options here. I like to go with pacify the countryside. That's pretty much our basic setup done, so let's get cracking. If you're wondering why I'm not setting up construction, it's because we don't have access to the 2 civilian factories we have. Ideally what we'll do is just build civilian factories. Oh, sorry, military factories. Or something could be said for just building a little bit of infrastructure, mostly because we'll be stuck on civilian economy for a while. I prefer to just build a couple of mills. I know it's not optimal. We'll eventually also build a supply hub in this area here around Jehol, but not yet. I'll add it to the queue, but will not build yet. As for production, just make guns. We'll need guns mostly for the time being. We'll adjust as we go. And we can deploy units. I'll deploy the first 3 on, what is this, Songjiang, and every fresh division will be deployed somewhere in Jehol. Just spam these babies out. I don't need them to have equipment. I just need troops in the field for the decisions. All right, pacify the countryside is done. We're a couple of days away from deploying that last unit, so we can start with pacifying the bandits. We should be hit by only 1 negative bandit event. It's not the end of the world. I prefer to take that hit over losing 1,500 guns. I know 1,500 guns doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it is. Anyway, focuses. We could go with trade delegation, but I'd like to postpone this by 1 focus, so instead I will get invite foreign investors. I want to postpone it so I can get basic machine tools researched and start either dispersed or concentrated, so I can have that bonus for either improved machine tools or dispersed or concentrated too. And that is the final unit, and everybody's getting pacified, so not too bad. Of course, we could now just get to reinforcements, but we don't need the army just yet. I'm just going to queue up a couple more divisions. We are at 8 18, so I'll get another 6 divisions deployed. That way we have a full army at our disposal. We will need quite a few divisions, so again, just put these on high priority, force deploy these whenever you see they're ready. We will be rocking an equipment deficit for most of this run, so don't worry about it too much. Alright, electronics engineering done. I'll pick up mechanical computing just so we can get some research speed going. We only have the 2 slots for now, so I'd like to make them count. God, Manchukuo is really bad off with banditry, Kwantong veto, low legitimacy. Yeah, this country isn't great. This isn't great at all. Alright, foreign investors invited. We have a couple of factories now. We'll take trade delegation and then rush all the way down to request control of the railways. Why? This unlocks a pretty nice decision, plus, well, a little bit of infrastructure. We have a bit of political power available to us as well. We have some options. We could get the war industrialist first, build those military factories a little bit quicker. This is my preference. You could either get the captain of industry, if you're the kind of guy who likes to build civilian factories first. Could get the industrial concern to get more industry research quicker. Choice is yours, really, but I would definitely recommend getting the war industrialist. All right, basic machine tools done, either dispersed or concentrated. My money is on dispersed, mostly because we'll be getting a lot of extra factories and I'd like to start my efficiency at a little higher. Of course, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I think the numbers for dispersed in our situation are just going to be better. Luckily, On Historical Japan is working on the Manchuria project, so they will improve our situation a little. Arms factory sabotaged. Unfortunate. Now we won't even be able to make guns. It should repair on its own relatively quickly, or if you really want to, you could just assign your factories to it. Doesn't matter. What does kind of suck is that apparently having to repair the factory completely wiped out our production efficiency. With assertiveness done, we are 1 level of subject higher, so we get to keep a few more of our factories. Oh, just the 1. We also can get a little bit more if we can do request control the railways. This divert machine tooling decision is wonderful. Always make sure you have 50 political power available to click it. I think we can click it 4 or 5 times, so we want to maximize that. All right, mechanical computing and industry are done. Now we are going to rush ahead. I'm going to start by getting dispersed 2, use the bonus on that, and then the other slot can go to improve machine tools. That will get our industry going. You could switch these around because production efficiency cap is actually very important. I just like to get dispersed 2 because it also makes you build stuff quicker, because of the factory output is not just for military factories, it also influences civilian factories building speed. And now we have 20 command power. We can also spend a little bit of political power. I like to open up with either the army logistics expert because of that division attrition being pretty bad, or, well, anyone else really. We'll have plenty of time to pick more, but I start with the army logistics expert just to get a little bit of army XP flowing in and to reduce our losses to training, etc. Equipment is going to come at a premium. Now we have 1 army of infantry ready. Well, ready, air quotes. They don't have equipment, but they can be built upon later. We will now train up another army, this time cavalry, another 24 divisions of cavalry, again on a high priority, and we'll just force deploy these whenever they are ready. Control of the railways is now in our hands. This gives us access to the divert machine tooling decision. Always keep an eye on this one. If you click it, cost you 50 political power. It will take 90 days, and after those 90 days, you get a free civilian factory. Wonderful. This is free, well, almost free factories. Click this every time it pops up. I think you can do it 4 or 5 times. Just make sure you keep an eye on that one. It's going to be huge. Now for focuses, we are going to expand the textile industry and invite Japanese settlers, or just do the Japanese settlers first, then expand the textile industry, and then law university. Let's get ourselves some factories. While things are moving ahead, we are getting a little bit of army experience trickling in, and the first thing I want to do is go to the spirit of the army and pick state serves the military. The conscription cost is good, but the extra political power will be huge when we build out the rest of our political cabinet. While professional army corps is also good, I think state serves the military will be better for us in the long run. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn. All right, settlers invited, textile industry next. Yeah, we are getting a couple of factories out. It's a start, I suppose. All right, with industry finishing up, let's also take a look at other things we will need. We will need support equipment. We will need trucks, and we will need trains. Let's start with trucks and trains first. So when improved machine tools are done, we'll get trains. All right, we've got the free factories. Let's get the law university next. Now this puts us at 4, soon to be 5 civilian factories. This is going to be the most we'll get for a while, mostly because we are on civilian economy and more of our factories are going to be assigned to consumer goods. Now I'll save you the trouble of the calculations, but the consumer goods factories will take factories away based on your total number of factories. So That includes our military factories. So we will get more mills, and as a result, we will get fewer civs eventually. Now, I want to make use of the fact that we have 5 and soon we'll have 6. To just put those on the supply hub. This is going to be the highest number of factories we'll have for a while, and just click the decision to reorganize the railway system. This will at least get the supply hub ready by the time we are good to go. And why am I building a supply hub here? One, it'll be connected by the river, so we don't need a railway just yet. I am going to make one because I just like to. And it will provide supply in this supply dead zone, which we will need if we are to quickly take out Manchukuo. We will be able to strike at Zhangbei very easily. If we don't build a supply up there, it's going to be a nightmare pushing into Japanese and Japanese puppet territory up there. Preparation is key if you're going to fight the Japanese on this. And while we prepare to fight the Japanese, let's also hire the infantry expert. More army experience is usually good. Make sure to always have 50 political power available for machine tooling though. That's going to be huge. All right, the military is about as ready as it's going to be for a while. So 1 army of infantry, 1 army of cavalry. I'll change the templates later on, but for now, let's just focus on getting these units equipped. Our preparations will be mostly in the form of good focuses, good picks, and industry. We will need to make a lot of guns for these troops. Japan is going to go to war with China, as they do, and we will sit back, relax, and wait for a good opportunity to stab them in the back. Speaking of war, there goes Japan. All right, we've got our law university. Next steps. We are going to go down our focus tree. We are going to staff the court with Manchus, get the Imperial Guards, and get local arms procurement. After that, we will see and evaluate. Do not join Japan's war. Don't have to, so we're not going to. That extra research slot is going to come in handy. I'm going to assign it to construction, and we're just going to watch China and Japan fight it out while we sit here and laugh at all of them. And we have another 25 army experience ready. I like to just pick political loyalty at this point. Cheaper military leaders, that's okay. Party popularity, stability modifier, that's huge. That will definitely impact our stability by a lot. And yes, it does make for worse leaders if we have to recruit new officers, but that's fine. We can work with that. Plus, we'll get a couple of free officers that don't get those penalties. We'll get Falkenhausen here, and we will hire Semyonov here as well. While Japan's fighting, always check and request Lend-Lease. See if they're willing to give you infantry equipment. Even better, convoys. Keep asking for stuff. Whatever Japan wants to give you, ask for it. Continuously ask for guns, artillery, whatever you have a deficit of. Keep checking if Japan wants to give you some. Eventually they will, and they will give you a lot of guns that we can then turn on them. All right, with the civilian trains research, we'll research support equipment, and we'll put 1 factory on trains. And with trucks now researched, let's also go into production, and we'll put 2 factories on trucks. That leaves us with 1 on guns, and everything fresh can go into guns as well. Guns won't actually be a huge problem. We won't get a lot of them from Japan, trust me. And we will continue the research. Next step, better guns. Might as well also assign 2 more factories. The 2 fresh ones we get can go to toward artillery. We will need some artillery moving forward. Construction's looking good as well, and the infantry has all been trained up, so we'll immediately change their template to the Hujun template. It's a stopgap measure. We'll change it to a different template later on, but let's just start building up our army. This will draw more equipment in, more manpower, more of everything really. Time to expand the army again. Let's just get the chief of the army. There, that's a good choice. Political power is starting to come in nicely, and that is support equipment. Next step, let's get engineer companies. Probably need to add 2 more factories to support equipment. So 2 on our total artillery, 2 on support equipment. Anything past that can go into basic infantry equipment. We'll get a lot of factories from this local arms procurement, so that should solve most of our issues. Also, fresh Imperial Guards divisions, assign them to a new army. Any leader will do really, and park them on the front with Dailan. That's their target. And we do have plenty of army experience available, so we'll immediately start changing the template here. This is the template we'll be working with, the Imperial Guards division. This is a good starter, but not what I like to use. What I like to do is turn them into something like this. 9 infantry battalions with 1 artillery battalion, and then I will add support artillery and eventually support engineers as well. All right, construction done. Let's get the next level of construction. We also got the better guns, so let's keep working on the infantry equipment here. With those better guns research, I'm not going to convert the line we have. I'll leave the 1 factory on this with a high efficiency production just to keep pumping out some cheap guns. Any new factories can go on the better infantry equipment. Let's get 5 factories on that. I am being hopeful though. It's going to be a while before we have enough factories. Let's also also make the final adjustment to military high command, army regrouping expert, and that is everything filled out. Our next step is probably going to be going up to partial mobilization. Ideally, I'd go up to war economy, but mathematically not possible if we have gone with staff the court with Manchus. 5 equal peoples, yes, but not with the Manchus, and I think Manchus is the better option. Ah, there we go. Japan is willing to start sending us stuff. Good. Accept whatever lend-lease, modify it even if you think you can get a better deal. Just ask for whatever they will send you. More convoys, more guns. Eventually they'll send artillery and support equipment as well. Next couple of focuses: bolster nationalism, purge the General Affairs Council, and reform the civil service. Do not pick Independence War yet. We're not ready. We've also got about 250 trucks by now, so I'm taking one factory off trucks, put it on support equipment. This will be enough trucks to keep us afloat for a while. And after this adjustment, everything new is going to go into infantry equipment, and from there we'll adjust. We'll probably add one more to artillery, one more to support equipment. As we get more factories, we can pretty much adjust to our needs, but right now this should be enough. Now, as we're starting to make artillery and support equipment, I will start trading for tungsten, maybe even aluminum, but we have some of our own, but not rubber. Rubber's not worth the trade. Right, we've got our engineer companies. I'm gonna keep that slot focused on my artillery, improve the artillery. So I'll focus one slot on artillery, one slot on infantry equipment, and one slot on construction, on industry, and of course picking up radios as well. Now, of course, as you get ahead of time on certain technologies, shift around. If you have any time left over, what you could do is pick up anti-air, pick up some better support companies like logistics, and air. If you have the time, it's always worth going for air, so fighters and close air support. If not for our fight with Japan, it will definitely help in our fight against China. Alright, this infantry is all trained up again. Let's change their template one more time to the Imperial Guards Division. Yes, I'm short many guns and a lot of artillery. That's fine. I'm also going to add the engineer companies to this template now, and this is what we'll be using moving forward. That and our cavalry. Japan is very willing to share with us. I like that. Alright, civil service reformed. Let's go towards the tank plant, so mission to Germany, and also improve relations because we need these to be 75, I believe. And while we're here, let's also get a non-aggression pact with Italy and then ask for military access. That gets their opinion of us high enough that we can ask them for lend-lease when we do inevitably start our war. We are now going to pick the military theorist that will allow us to start getting some cheaper doctrines and start working on superior firepower, and keep preparing to seize Japanese arms depots. Pretty good deal if you ask me. Alright, with the infantry all trained up, it's just a matter of waiting for equipment. I'll put 12 on the border near Beijing and they can start their offensive there, and the remaining 12 will be put on the southern-ish border near Zhangbei, and their focus will be to quickly capitulate Manchukuo and then solidify a front line. Let's also change the cavalry a bit because 6 combat with cav not great. Let's add 2 cavalry to this and 1 unit of support artillery, giving a little bit of bite. This should be enough to swarm Korea. Should be more than enough to swarm Korea. Probably change these out to infantry at some later date when they're no longer required to be fast and speedy units. And let's also get the Ataman of the Transbaikal host, Grigory Semyonov. He's not great in terms of political power and stability, but he does give us 10% more at speed for attacking divisions, which is great for our cavalry rushing down into Korea, and 15% more attack against major countries, meaning Japan. So love this guy. This is another thing you need to watch out for, and you need to wait until this is passed before you launch your offensive. The USSR is doing Operation Z. It's pretty much a border conflict along the Manchurian border, and as a response, Japan will send its own army to garrison this front, which is kind of annoying if you're going to war with them and they're already in your territory. So you want to wait until they redeploy these units back to the main front line. Just a little heads up. For now, we'll just conserve our political power so we can immediately go up to war economy. Total mob still not in the cards, I think. Alright, the tank plant is done, and now we move towards the independence war. Let's have a last quick check of the situation. It still looks like Manchukuo is wide open if we react quickly enough. Same with the area around Beijing. Our troops should be able to deal with whatever the Japanese have left before they can really redeploy. Same with Dailan. Dailan can be an issue because sometimes Japan masses its troops here in preparation of a naval invasion, but they've already taken the Shandong Peninsula, so it's usually clear. Same for Korea, it is wide open. Of course, anything can happen in 70 days, but we start now with our independence war. And in preparation, I will also use a little bit more of our army experience, and we will get flexible organization. Smoke and fire is really good. I will probably switch to this later, but right now I need flexible organization for division speed. I want to maximize the amount of land we can take before Japan can really respond. Faster units is just gonna help. I want to completely overrun their positions before any reasonably strong opposition can mount. I've also researched the war austerity train because it's cheaper and I need so many trains. I forgot how many trains you need in China. So everything kicks off in a few hours. A final check. Okay, Manchukuo wide open. Beijing also wide open. Same for Dailan and Korea. We can do this. We can definitely do this. War is declared. Qing China will be a mighty nation. Now for Korea, you might want to micromanage a little. The AI seems a little reluctant to really go in aggressive, or they tend to just bunch up to the north here, which is pointless. So manually go in, and if you have to, rush Dailan with everything you have. Rush the port here at what is this, Taijin, and take a little casual stroll towards Beijing. This is where the supply is. You kind of want the supply. Manually declare war on Manchukuo. They will not be in the war, and if you wait for them to join, they will redeploy units to stop you. Now for focuses, I like to go with Imperial Divinity next. This will get us out of the danger zone for bad events for both stability and war support, and after that we reclaim the empire and get a bunch of cores. And with the army on the move, it's time to set our field marshal to extreme motorization. We should have enough trucks available. Oh, China wants us in their faction. That's a hard no. We'll go to our decisions next, and we will create underground workshops. This will make our infantry equipment 25% cheaper, but give them minus 40% reliability. Doesn't matter. It also gives us 3 more military factories. So this is just a net gain. The reliability does not matter in the least. We'll create tons of guns this way, and we will also execute the plan. This gives us a huge stockpile of additional equipment that we take from Japan, and Japan will have a 40% penalty to both attack and defense when fighting us. So that is a no-brainer. With this, we will simply sweep them aside on the continent. And let's start sweeping. And as we take the ports here, we will redeploy this infantry army to the main front in Beijing. Well, around Beijing. Just be aware that we will need to leave a couple of port guards behind. I like to leave 2 divisions per tile behind on every port, because Japan, being Japan, will naval invade you. And if they land in force, you are screwed. There's no way around it. If they land troops, you are screwed. Also, don't accept non-aggression pacts from the warlords or the nationalists. You don't need them. No real opposition on the Korean peninsula either, so keep pushing here. Make sure the cavalry actually focuses on the areas that matter and that they don't bunch up to the north. The south is where you'll need to be. All right, it looks like Japan is starting to react, but it's going to be too little too late, I'm afraid. While we're fighting Japan, let's also see if we can get some good stuff. We could join the Axis. I wouldn't. I can always do that later, but we can see about getting some Lend-Lease here. Germany tends to have a lot of stuff available for us. Easiest way to do that is create a massive fake deficit and start begging. Excellent. That is a lot of stuff coming our way. I do believe we may end up being lucky. It looks... Oh, no. We ended up being super unlucky. Japan just landed about 5 divisions there as my troops are rolling in. This may end up going poorly. I do have a lot of cavalry in position, so maybe we'll wear them down, but yeah, this may end up being a problem. Unfortunately, they managed to funnel in a couple of good divisions, and I will break them eventually, I think, especially if I can take the port, but it does significantly slow us down. Meanwhile, the rest of the front's looking okay. China's used the opportunity to start pushing back. Independence War is probably won by this point. What is a little sad is that we haven't really been able to truly capitalize on this. No massive gains have been achieved. All right, now we've got the Japanese completely isolated. That port is going to fall. There's no way around it. We've got them here. And with the fall of Busan, Korea is secured. Oh, there come the first Japanese naval landings. So yeah, you definitely want to guard your ports. The Japanese have a very nasty tendency to naval invade you. It's like an addiction for them. All right, Imperial Divinity done. That brings us up to good war support and stability. Time to reclaim the empire and get ourselves some cores on all of this. And with Japan reduced to pretty much a small pocket in Shandong, we just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. We will overwhelm them eventually. Oh, another glorious pocket here. We are just shredding them. Oh, this is a lot of Japanese divisions stuck here. All right, the empire has been reclaimed. claimed, and we now have cores on all of this. Next up, Imperial University, an extra research slot. I'm gonna wait with moving the capital to Beijing because I want to see what the peace deal will give us. Sometimes we get to keep everything we've conquered from the other Chinas, and other times all of that gets given back to the original owners. I'd rather wait and see what happens first, otherwise we run into a bit of an issue where our capital moves to Beijing, we lose Beijing, and for some reason they put our capital in Taipei after giving us Taiwan. So yeah, that will be bad considering the amount of convoys we'd need. Okay, Japan suddenly managing a glorious and heroic push here. What's that all about? Yeah, I'm not able to push anywhere. Just supply is horrific here. I should have used the momentum to keep pushing. Never let the enemy entrench like this. What you want to do is keep the attack going. Hit them and never let them recover their organization or build entrenchment. Keep moving because you are moving away from your supply lines, and your attacks will become more difficult while their capability of defending remains strong-ish as long as they're fighting around their own supply depot. You want to be able to push, and keep pushing, never giving them a place to stop, because I've done that now, and results are pretty bad. Alrighty, Imperial University, let's keep going. Could get any one of these focuses. Like I said, I want to postpone, move the capital. We could get assert our authority or offer vassalization, but I want to wait. I want to wait and see what happens next. By the way, one more thing, while you're fighting all of this, do not give nationalist China or any of the other China's military access. Do not sign any non-aggression pacts. Do not interact with them in any way. They are your next target. Non-aggression pacts mean you can't fight them, and if you sign them military access, they will get all of their territory back, and you are currently more interested in occupying that. So what would happen is all of this land that I'm currently sitting on would flip to the original owner. Don't want that. Yeah, we're fighting so far away from our supply lines that they can push us with impunity. There is no supply here. We failed to capture the supply depot at Jinan when we had the opportunity. That is on me. I fucked that up massively. And as a result, we are dealing with the horrific supply in China. Don't worry, Japan will be crushed at this point. If not by us, then by the nationalists. It'll be fine. Fight for the supply hubs and the railways. Those are your targets. You want to get there first. Well, I've just waited to build that naval base. Japan is still holding out in this last sliver here in Qingdao and Shandong. Hopefully with the naval base built, we'll be able to come in with a little bit more strength and just snuff them out now. Supply is what kills runs in China now. I hate that the AI now liberally uses last stand as well. That is so annoying. Yeah, these divisions have held out for much longer than they're supposed to. But I think the suffering is at an end. Breakthrough is being realized. I think we've got him. If I had just taken Jinan when I had the opportunity and not sat there like an idiot and battle planned, this would have been over by now. Fortunately, our friends in Italy and Germany should be able to send us whatever we need, really. That and our own production is more than sufficient to replenish our losses. I'll be honest with you guys, this has gone on for almost a year longer than it usually does. I have completely ground to a halt due to no other things than supply. So please, for the love of God, I'm telling you, if you do this, please look at the supply hubs and focus on those. If you don't, this is your punishment. You are stuck in no supply country with a World War I scenario where neither party can go anywhere. I think it's over now, though. I think it's over. And that is Japan off the as far as I'm concerned, that is Japan off the continent. I'm not sending troops there, so yeah. And while I've been suffering through all of that, I've also been improving my production, still making the usual stuff. I've also added a line for improved anti-air. I'll add those later. Definitely a useful addition to any infantry unit, or any unit really. And I've started production of fighters and close air support. They will not be any use against Japan, but they will definitely help against China. Now we just have to wait for the Chinese to kick the Japanese off the mainland. If you really want to, you could join the Chinese United Front and help them fight off Japan. Alright, screw it. I'm gonna risk it. I'm going to ask to join the Chinese United Front. Things will get weird and funky, but we'll adjust. We'll assign the army here and we'll try and throw them into the sea. This has taken far longer than I was willing to commit. I've also just converted my cavalry army into infantry. I have more than enough stuff in stockpile, and this gives me 4 armies, almost a full army group. That is probably going to be enough to crush China and its other Chinas after this one. Just need to mop up what's left of the Japanese. Now, for those of you wondering why I didn't just join the Chinese United Front right away? Well, for one thing, none of this occupation would have been ours. It would have all gone back to nationalist China. And number two, it really makes for weird outcomes when the white peace event fires. At least on my end, I've just seen some really weird stuff that I try to avoid. Oh, there we go. Japan offers peace. The war has been won. Ah, thank God. We click that. It's over. They transfer to us Taiwan. Korea is released and we remain in control of the rest of the territory. Now, one thing that is super annoying is that the Chinese get a separate peace event here. I'll show you what it is when it fires. And as a result of that peace deal, all of the territory we were occupying that belonged to the nationalists and the other warlords has just flipped back to their original owners. So we'll just leave the faction. It doesn't matter anymore. I am now going to... I don't want to continue this. I'm just going to cancel a focus. We're now going to assert our authority or offer vassalization. Assert authority means we pretty much go to war with the entire Chinese United Front. It's definitely doable. A little annoying maybe. Instead, let's just offer vassalization. What this does is give all of the warlords an opportunity to become our puppet. Sounds like a good deal, so we'll do that. And we'll park our army on the border here. Could join the Axis, could even join Japan's faction at this point. Alright, we're about to offer vassalization. I hope at least a few of them accept. That will make the Chinese spread their troops out. Okay, Ma, yes. Oh, okay. That was actually most of them. Except for Guangxi. Okay, I can play ball. Focus is not much else to do here. Mukden Military Academy for now. Well, I'm gonna wait a little bit. See, yeah, they're now redeploying their troops. Great. I guess we'll just declare war on Li Zongren, the only one who said no. Not gonna call my puppets in though. Not gonna call my puppets in. Now I wait for the nationalists to hop on board. Okay, that's the communists. Where's the rest? Come on, nationalists. Come on, are you cowards? Annoying. The nationalists aren't joining. Could just retake core state. Doesn't matter. They will join eventually when their entire army gets spread out across the borders, but like so many things, it's annoying. Anyway, while we're waiting for this absolute stupidity to proceed, I have to justify because apparently nationalist China is not inclined to join the war because they are cowards apparently. I'm talking to you, Chiang Kai-shek. I'm improving relations with the Japanese so I could be able to join their faction. I don't need a Japanese backstab at this point. It would completely ruin the run. If we get relations up high enough, maybe they'll say yes. We'll see. All right, justification's done. We'll go in manually then. There we go. Don't call on your allies. And now we just steamroll over the nationalist army. There's no point to calling in the puppets. They do an excellent job of drawing troops away from the front lines. That's perfect. And we will integrate them later. Don't need them generating any war participation, getting themselves free. That's just not groovy. Anyway, our army goes through theirs like a knife through butter. Ideally, I'd have a little more aircraft, but don't really need them. What I could do is add some anti-air, actually. And now that we're at war with the nationalists, we can safely move the capital. Now we just need to make sure that we touch Communist China and Huangxi clique before we force them to capitulate. We don't want to have the nationalists capitulate and Huangxi not being involved. That would be pretty bad. I don't think we're even taking that many casualties. No, I've lost 79,000 and I've inflicted a hell of a lot more than that. So I'd say we're doing quite well here. Yeah, we've taken a province from the communists, so they're involved. Now we just grind nationalist China into a fine red paste. I look to Europe and things are proceeding as usual. Italy is getting backdoored. Germany's, well, balls deep into the Soviet Union, but doing so, well, not great. Yugoslavia's back as well. Oh, Italy. You're never a good ally, are you? Oh, we have outrun our supply lines. This is a returning issue. You outrun our supply lines, everything grinds to a halt, and that's how you end up with China 99% towards capitulation. The next tile we take is game over. If I can walk into Kanding, it's over for them, but we're not going anywhere without supply. Oh, well, that's one down. Guangxi out of the running. You know what? This is just getting absurd. I am going to call to arms on Yunnan. I'm going to call in Shibei Sanma. Yes, they'll get a little bit of participation. It doesn't matter. And there we go. China has fallen. Let's just pass a bunch of times and we can start snapping up all of this. Everything here is our core, so we just want to take all states. Everything. We want every last piece. And I'll make some puppets in the south here. Republic of Vietnam and the Republic of Laos. That's fine. And with that, we are essentially finished. All we need to do now is integrate our warlords, and we will have the achievement once we finish Claim the Mandate of Heaven. We will be the Chinese Empire once more, and Hail to the Qing, baby, will be ours. Now, we can safely sit here, build up our puppets, and then integrate them, send them all the lend-lease they want, build military factories, build railways, build whatever in their territory. Meanwhile, we can also join Japan's faction. That way, we don't have to worry about them declaring war on us again, because once these truces run out, Japan will start declaring wars. They never, ever stop doing that. So we are safe to sit here, go through the rest of our focuses, and just either fight the Allies, we can fight the Soviets, we can fight whoever we want, or just do literally nothing except integrating our puppets. I'm gonna keep the game running off camera a bit until I have my puppets integrated, and then we'll be back to see the final result. All right, fast forward a few hours. It's 1945 and I had to integrate every single one of those warlords. It just takes a very long time, especially if you have to do all 4 of them. You snowball along the way, but it takes a while. Anyway, we are now Qing China. We can finally finish up and claim the Mandate of Heaven. We have claimed the Mandate of Heaven. We are once more the Chinese Empire. Hail to the Qing, baby. We have all the territory we need. These European ports do not count for the achievement. So there we go. Proof that Manchukuo can still be an absolute powerhouse, even with no step back. At this point, well, at some point before this, you can do anything you want. You have the Chinese industry, the Chinese manpower. You are the most powerful country on earth. You can throw in with the Axis. You can join Japan. Do whatever you like. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found it entertaining. If you did, leave a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload more content. Also, check out this next video. I know you'll love it. Picked it just for you.